more you lead to the imagination, the more they're going to think about you, the more you haunt their thoughts. And the more you haunt their thoughts, the more, like, what's the word? Like, unlifelike? I don't know. Like, legendary? I'm not sure what to say. You know what I'm getting at, though. I'm going to think of it more iconic, I guess. Morning, everybody. Welcome to the Icon Edit, the show where we are becoming unbelievably gorgeous and disgustingly overeducated. My name is Monet. I'm a fellow icon in training and the host of the show, sharing all my notes, everything that I'm learning, I'm sharing back to you. So hopefully you will share back to me everything that you learn on our journeys to become unbelievably gorgeous, disgustingly overeducated, our ultimate glow up journey. That being said, please invite all our fellow icons in training. We're trying to make that super community, that super database of amazing, smart women who have so much to share. And so with that being said, if you have anything to share today, please add it in the comments nicely. I want as much information as I can get, So if there's any thoughts on our topic, which is just a breakdown of the Siren archetype, because I've been studying Marilyn Monroe recently for our next icon study. So excited for that. She is fascinating, heartbreaking, beautiful, and there's just so much to her. And there's so much to her that we don't know too. So it's really, I don't know. She's fascinating. But all of this has inspired me to kind of just go over the Siren archetype because I think it's somewhat inspiring in a way, starting my day of like, ooh, I'm going to be the sexiest. I'm going to be the baddest. I'm going to be seductive. I'm going to attract what I want. And yeah, I want heads to turn when I walk in, to be honest. Like, sorry, So I think this kind of archetype inspires me. This is all from The Art of Seduction by Robert Greene. And as I've said in the past, if you haven't heard me before, I don't agree with everything he says. I don't think we should be manipulative. I think there are very negative tones in that book, which I don't agree with, but I do appreciate how he pulls so many historical figures and information, so many facts, and his psychological interpretations are interesting. So if you do read that, take it with a grain of salt. And this is also from my Marilyn Monroe work. I don't remember the names of the books and the documentaries I've been watching, but what makes a siren is someone so incredibly alluring, not even gorgeous. It's not even necessarily the most beautiful, stunning. Something about a perfect, beautiful, stunning face is kind of cold and a little bit too perfect. So, like Cleopatra has mentioned several times how she was never the most beautiful, the most hot, that sounds bad. She was never the most young, beautiful girl, but she was the most alluring. And I feel like it was the same with Marilyn Monroe. There were so many people who wanted the attention that she had that were technically younger, hotter, prettier, whatever you want to say, but she was the most attractive. And it's all mindset. It is all very intentional. And I love breaking it down. So let's break it down. So yeah, as I was saying, the siren is very intentional, very strategic. She creates an experience of desire. First aspect, and I have a whole episode about this, so go check it out. We're just breezing over it very quickly, is the siren's voice. Cleopatra's voice is mentioned numerous times. Everybody knows about Marilyn Monroe. I feel like Megan Fox too, but you get what I'm getting at. So the siren's voice is her most powerful weapon. Rules to the siren's voice: never speak quickly, never sound aggressive, and avoid a high, shrill tone. You want it to be grounded, you want it to be earthy. You want to speak like you just woke up in the morning, being languidly and slowly. Your tone is calm, warm, slightly lazy. So think of like Scarlett Johansson. Scarlett Johansson is perfect. Her voice is so stunning. Or like Lana Del Rey, very unhurried, very calm. Yeah, very tired almost. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's the voice. Next, we're getting into body and adornment. So where the voice kind of lulls and like is very sleepy and tired, the adornment excites. This is where like your goddess effect really comes from. You have to be very intentional with it. So never ever try to fit in. Don't try to fit in. That's not what we're trying to do as a siren. The siren stands out in every single way she can. Dress in a heightened version of yourself. Be astonishing. Be unconventional. Get that attention, but be very strategic about it. So your look should feel larger than life. It should feel ever evolving, and it should feel very imaginative, and it should feel very close to your identity too. Just accentuating your identity, making it super bold for everyone to see. So there's also the sensuality rule that's mentioned in the Art of Seduction. So like I said, take it with a grain of salt, but this is what he had to say. Only reveal your best feature and let the imagination do the rest. So like Josephine Bonaparte, she would always leave her beautiful toned arms bare. Like her arms were always bare. And she also kind of had a signature to her look, but she also was never the same. There's a lot of like contradictions and balances. It's all about finding what you feel like accentuates yourself the most, but also leaving stuff to the imagination is huge, because the more you leave to the imagination, the more they're going to think about you, the more you haunt their thoughts, and the more you haunt their thoughts, the more, what's the word, like unlifelike, I don't know, like legendary, I'm not sure what to say, you know what I'm getting at though, I'm going to think of it more iconic, I guess. Like the more you haunt their thoughts, the more mystical you become. As we said a billion times in the show, and I'm going to continue saying it, mystery is your best friend. Do with this information as you will. Just remember, mystery is key. Now let's get into the siren's movements. The siren moves very gracefully, very unhurried, just like her voice, very languid. It's very relaxed and dreamy like movements. Marilyn Monroe was famous for her walk because it was so slow, seductive, gorgeous, and very unique to her. She said, this is a little tip from Marilyn, and I think I'll put it in my Marilyn episodes too, but she just pretended like a rope was tying her chest to the clouds so it would be straight up. Just let your hips move how they naturally move. Our center of gravity is naturally in our hips, so they're going to sway in that very like elegant feminine way. And so you just need to make sure that your shoulders are back and away from your ears, and your chest is straight up to the sky, and you're going to get that like sexy, what's the word, stride, you know, I don't know. And I think it's important too to remember, just like a siren never rushes anything. When she is talking to somebody, she is fully invested in what that somebody has to say. She is not worried about where she needs to be, where she's been, where she's going, all the stuff going around her. She is focused on that person. There is nothing better or more important to her, or him, if a siren can be a him, I don't know, than the conversation happening in that moment. And I think that is very attractive to people, where in this world where there are so many distractions, life moves so fast, and we just need to keep going and going and going to have this like second, this little oasis of like, I just want to hear how your day was, and I really want to know. I'm only listening to you. I think the key to the siren, the overall key to the siren, so there's two things about the siren: very naturally alluring, but there's also always a touch of danger to her, a touch of like, I probably shouldn't do this. I think Marilyn Monroe very much embodied that. There was something very mysterious and kind of dark to her nature. And Cleopatra, obviously, like, she was very dark, and there was definitely a touch of danger to her. She had interesting intentions at times. I guess that's not the best thing to take away. Like, we don't want to be dangerous, but all the other things, yes. So instead of the dangerous part, we just really need to emphasize the mystery, because I think our brains will automatically fill all sorts of stuff with what you don't tell people, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense. But anyway, anything not immediately understood is mysterious, and mystery is inherently seductive. I think that's key. And that's it for me today. Kind of a shorter episode. If you have any thoughts at all, please share. And I'm so excited to share this Marilyn Monroe series with you guys. Doing a lot of research, and it'll be awesome. And that's all from me, guys. Love you. Thank you.